Hello, welcome or welcome back. We got the Apex Fight Night recap video. Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. First of all, let's fucking go, Kevin. Yes, sir. Let's just get right into it. Let's do the little recap, whatever. First fight we have Sam Hughes versus Pierre Rodriguez. I'm not gonna spend too much time on these first couple fights. They were kind of trash, but Pierre Rodriguez outstrikes Sam Hughes for 3 rounds and gets the decision basically. Apparently they had a rematch or whatever, and she used her what do you say? Her grappling a lot in the first fight, but she didn't have to really use it this fight, and basically outstruck her into a decision. So congratulations for Pierre Rodriguez starting off the card. Like I said, starting off the card. Next fight, Hector Sosa versus Luan Lacerda. It was basically just like a low-level scrap, and Sosa gets a decision and basically outvets him as if he was a vet. This is just a pretty low-tier, low-level scrap. Nothing really good happened. I wasn't very entertained or whatnot, but congratulations for them, I guess. Next fight, finally something happens here. We got Bia Mesquita versus Montse Rendon. What I wrote down, Bia drops Montse and then takes her back, and then takes her down with a single leg after she got back up, and then works top position until she finally gets the back and finds a rear naked choke, and Montse taps immediately. Bia Mesquita actually looking like she had some power in her hands, not like power, but like a little bit of power basically. But something about Montse just gave me the vibe is like she's just someone's mom, bro. Like she did not belong in the octagon. She looked like pretty shaky and stiff to start. Not like shaky, but she was just kind of spazzing with quick combos to start off. The fight's starting, everyone's fresh. You got energy, so I mean that's not bad, but just her body language as she was throwing them reminded me of someone's mom. That's just too old to be fighting. But yeah, that was pretty good. She landed a good jab. I guess the punches she landed on Montse Rendon were pretty good because she kind of timed them really good. I think she landed a jab and kind of worked. No, I think she worked around a jab, kind of threw kind of an overhand around it or a cross or whatever. Who knows? I don't fucking know. But that's basically what dropped her. And then yeah, she got choked out. That was pretty chill. Next one, Eric Anders versus Brad Tavares. Did not get to watch this one for real, for real. What I'm saying, I was at work, but seems like a chill fight. They dropped each other once, and Eric Anders retires and has a pretty, decently beautiful post-fight speech. You know what I'm saying? Shouting out his son, his coach. And one thing that he did do during this retirement, I thought was pretty cool that I guess more people should do is instead of putting his gloves down in the middle, he gave it to his coach. So nothing but respect right there. Fuck with that. Next one. All right, let's get in here. Manuel Sosa versus Oki. Oki, you know what I'm saying. Round one. Manuel drops Oki with a sort of right overhook and then works the ground and pound. Sosa attempts a Kimura and then gets dumped by Oki, but still has a Kimura on bottom and then holds that down. Or not holds that down, but does not let go for a good minute off bottom. Doesn't really work towards anything. And eventually lets go. Then Oki is elbowing the body. And then they stand up and clinch. And then Oki is working in knees. And I give it a 10-9 Sosa. That round, just me personally, just landed the better shots. And no, I think I'm thinking about a different fight. No, he did land the better shots. And I think he just did a little more. And he did get taken down or whatever. But he had that Kimura in the whole time. And it's not like Oki really worked anything with that. So I think that might, the fact that he's on bottom, you know what I'm saying, it might not help him in the judge's eyes, but he at least had a submission locked in. But round two, Oki clips him with a clean overhand and has a couple follow-up shots. They are trading good, decent shots, and Oki left Sousa a little bit wobbled. Oki extended his finger and eye poked Sousa on accident, whatever, and they stayed busy boxing until the end. Both of these dudes are landing crazy shots in each other. But for these first 2 rounds, it kind of seems like Oki is kind of piecing him up. Not piecing him up, but he's definitely outstriking him and landing maybe not the better shots because they're both landing good shots that are clean, you know what I'm saying? They're both eating the shits, but I think the quantity from Oki definitely makes it clear here that he gets round two. And honestly, I think I'm lying. Not like I'm lying, but I take back. I think I wrote down I gave Sousa round one, but I would give. No, I'm not. No, that was my initial reaction. I'm going with it. Yeah, first round Sousa, second round Oki. It's 19-19 going into the third. Oki starting off good with leg kicks, but they are trading for sure. Good knees to the body from Oki. Sousa looking crispy and goes for a takedown, but Oki stuffs it. Great boxing from Sousa, and Oki throws a good combo back at Sousa. Sousa then proceeds to grab Oki's wrist and then slimes him out with a cross. Dominic Cruz was saying that the shot, I don't remember what the shot was before he grabbed his wrist, because they were kind of like backing up, and then Sousa kind of like just had his left hand on his wrist. But if you just looked at Oki's face, it looked like he was out on his feet a little bit, because he just did not do anything. He just like ate that shit and then got knocked the fuck out bad. It was so bad. Round 3 KO Manuel Sosa. One thing to point out here, and the commentary was pointed out too, was like, I mean, me personally, I just think that he was really like reserved, but it was such a decent output for like a lightweight fight for the first 2 rounds. And seeing how like tired Oki is, and seeing how not tired Sosa is, it was so crazy. Like, imagine he just like upped the pace and outstruck dude for the first 2 rounds. Obviously, he would have been a little tired in the third, but it was dead ass like 50 something significant strikes, or like just total strikes to like around like 20, and like he literally just out quantitied him, and just like I assume he just conserved his energy for the last round, but that shit was crazy. He was just like going crazy, and then did what he needed to do, slammed him out. It was a pretty good fight. Move on to the next one. Elijah Smith versus Su Young Yu. This fight was pretty good too, especially for Elijah Smith. Round 1, perfect knee up the middle for Elijah Smith. He takes him down and works top position. Yu takes him down up against the cage. Yu takes him down again, but Elijah gets right back up. Yu takes him down again with that Peter Yan takedown, where you know Peter Yan kind of has your back, and then will kind of like split his legs in a way and kind of, you know, throw you over his hip. Whatever the fuck that takedown's called, I don't know. But then Yu takes Elijah's back and then takes him down again at the end of the round. So 10-9 Yu just based off all the takedowns and, you know, smudging basically. And then round 2, Elijah immediately takes the center. Right uppercut, left hook for Elijah, and then they trade right hooks. They trade right hooks at the same time, but Yu is the one that gets sat down. That shit was pretty. That was a pretty crazy like just moment of commotion or whatever. But and then after that, Elijah works into the rear naked choke and subs Yu. Round 2 rear naked choke, Elijah Smith. That was very good, bro. Elijah Smith in between rounds, he looked like he was just not composed, but it didn't matter. Look what happened. But it was just pretty cool. And his post-fight speech was pretty cool, too. He was talking about just, like, shouting out his family, all these birthdays and stuff. And, you know, that's just really nice to have his moment. His family looked really excited. They looked like they needed that. But then he continues his fight streak. I'm pretty sure it's like a 7 or maybe 8 fight win streak, or 8 fight win streak or whatever now. But, yeah, congratulations to Elijah Smith. That was a pretty good fight. Then we got to this fucking beast of a fight right here. Vitor Petrino versus Steven Asplund. Wow. Just wow, bro. Let me just tell you what I wrote down. Round 1. Asplund stuffs a great takedown. Good inside leg kick from Vitor. Makes Asplund go unbalanced. Vitor's throwing good combos off the counter. Left hook cuts Asplund right under his right eye. Very good shot right there. Good leg kicks from Petrino. And uppercut left hook. Rocks Petrino bad from Asplund. And Asplund gets some ground and pound, but then it goes back on the feet. Great first round. And this first round's low-key kind of hard to score. I give it 10-9 Asplund just based off of the knockdown and the ground and pound. But if you're damaging or scoring off damage, like Vitor, like obviously wins that round. But I think the knockdown means more than the damage. The right eye was cut bad and it was bleeding, but it wasn't bleeding as bad until the second round. And let's go into the second round. Good jabs from Petrino. The jab was working for him all night. Let's be real. Good head kick from Petrino causes Asplund to trip and fall, and Petrino takes the back, working a rear naked choke, kinda. Asplund stands up. Petrino's gassing out in the second. You know, he's looking a little tired. But right now, at this point in the fight and in the third, you just like they're both just like kind of like not like hands on the hip, but kind of like Vitor's like walking back. He's like not running away, but like in a way he kind of is. But they just standing for real. But Petrino's still working that jab. Asplund is still landing too though. Victor started slamming hooks on Asplund's chin. It was like 4 hooks back to back to back to back, left, right type shit. And then he eats them, and then Asplund's mouthpiece falls out from a jab, and then they stand for the last seconds of the second round. And then Vitor opens the cut back open towards the end of that round, and just Asplund's face is just bad, bro. It's just like leaking, literally just straight red. And it's bad. That's what I wrote down. And it's bad. 10-9 Petrino. They're 19-19 going into the third, in my opinion. You could have it 2018 for Vitor. Round 3. Steven rocks Vitor, and he's stumbling, but then throws a combo back and tags up Asplund. Victor's jab is still landing. A good inside kick and good jab, too, off of the inside kick from Vitor. That round was really close. Sorry. They're both landing crazy shit on each other, but I think you barely have to give it to Petrino 10-9. So it's 29-28 Vitor. And yeah, he won the decision there. It was a very good fight. That's definitely one of the fights to watch back. And I like the fact that they're calling out just like, the fact that heavyweights are not entertaining and saying that, come on, they both made a deal here to stand in the middle. Fucking do it for you guys. Whatever Sean Strickland says, bro. But going to the next one. Orobai versus Chris Curtis. Literally just smudged him for 3 rounds. Kept on taking him down. That's it. And then Chris looks surprised that he lost. Like, it just makes no sense. Every Chris Curtis fight, bro. But, yeah. 19 takedowns. That's a new welterweight record for most takedowns in a fight. Congratulations to Orobai. It's pretty impressive. It just is what it is. Next fight, Charles Johnson versus Bruno Silva. Listen. I was watching this at work. I didn't get to watch it fully. But then, I just watched it back before making this video, as I did with a lot of these fights. At the moment, I thought Charles Johnson getting his hand rose was just like, oh my God, they just did Bruno Silva like that for the plot. Oh my God, they did that for the plot. Like, that's like literally basically just like plot armor. But no. I'm here to, let me just tell you what I wrote down. And 30-27 for Charles is not crazy, and I'll explain to you why in round 2. Round 1. Almost a whole lot of nothing to start off for real, but Charles was landing good knees and Bruno landed a good right hand, but Charles kept shooting and failing. Good head kick by Charles. I think Charles had more quantity and landed a little bit of the better shots in round 1, but this was a very slow-paced round. Like, Bruno was missing a lot of his shots. He was throwing first, but he was almost like trying to work the counter more, but then those counter shots wouldn't really land. Charles had really good head movement and just good defense to where that kind of stopped that. So I think personally Charles took the first round. Second round, active start from both guys immediately. Mostly Charles at the beginning though. Bruno staying busy and countering Johnson good. Charles staying active too though, and then had a slight cup shot from Bruno. He takes a second or whatever, and then they continue. Good step and elbow from Silva. Good flurry from Bruno up against the fence, and then Charles circles out. They had a clash of heads. Charles's temple got hit by the top of Bruno's head. It was kind of bad, but it is what it is. And then right after that, an immediate nut kick from Bruno Silva drops Charles, bro. And that's basically the second round. And I guess, like I said, it's 10-9 Silva. But the argument for a 30-27 is there. I'm not saying this is a 30-27. I got a 29-28 decision here. But 30-27 is not crazy because of that. There was two nut shots in that, so that could just already be. They didn't take a point, but that could, if you're a judge, I'd be like, all right, you know what I'm saying. Kind of takes away from Bruno a little bit. Bruno was landing good shots, like I said, he was landing good step and elbows, all that, but Charles was doing good. And then, like I said, he was still landing good. So I think this was a very close round, and Silva maybe did a little bit more. Like I said, it was pretty even still, but I think you could give it 10-9 Johnson just based off all the nut kicks and just the fucking head clash and all this stuff. It just is crazy, but it was still a good round. I'm still personally giving to Silva just a little bit. Round 3, deadass heard Bisping say Charles is hurt here after he dodged a 4-piece combo with straight head movement, bro. He literally went or some shit, and literally all the elbows missed, and you hear Bisping saying, "Oh, Charles is hurt here." I can't even fucking do an impression, bro. But it's literally just so bad. I was like, bruh. And in the moment, I could see how commentary is swaying people to push Bruno Silva. And recency bias, bro. The fact that Charles Johnson just did crazy in his last fight, thinking that he's gonna come in and just not have as much momentum, because he didn't have as much momentum, I guess, coming in like he did the Alex Perez fight. But it is what it is. What else did I say? Good spinning back elbow from Bruno Silva. Great elbows from Charles off the break all round 3. But also good uppercuts from Silva in the clincher in that kind of dirty boxing range. Also, they're both, Silva's also landing good jabs. Good knees from Charles. Those are working a lot in the third round. They're getting scrappy for the last 20 seconds. But Charles eats everything and just pushes forward, and also is still just, like I said, pushing forward, but landing good shots that are just as good. And I personally give that one 10-9 Charles. the knees, the at the end, especially when they're both kind of standing and bang, and Charles is the one pushing forward, landing too, even though he is eating good shots. So they're like shots kind of even each other out. But the fact that Charles is pushing forward, I think you could give him that last round. But he's obviously still just landing kind of my opinion the better shots in the end of the third round. So it was Charles split decision. Two judges had uh, a 30-27 and a 29-28 for Charles, and then someone had a 28-29 for Bruno Silva. So in the moment, I was like, listen, all right, that is a little crazy. They just gave it to Charles, but split decision makes me feel better. I did not know it was split decision in the moment. They don't really got audio for real in the restaurant or whatever, but I get in the moment. But if you watch the fight back, you'll know what I mean, especially the first round too. Like Charles definitely won the first round. We'll go into the next one here. We got Ion Cutelaba versus Umar Sy. This is a great fight. Ion Cutelaba just guillotines him immediately. This is what I wrote down. They start off pretty tit for tat, and Cutelaba takes him down up against the fence. Then Umar takes him down takes him down, but gets reversed into bottom position. They kind of work from like a heel hook position, and then Cutelaba ends up having Omar Sy's neck, and Umar Sy taps immediately. And that shit was in deep. He literally, so that shit probably fucking hurt his neck. That's it for that one. That really wasn't that crazy. Congratulations to Ion Cutelaba, or Iwan, sorry, that's how you pronounce it. It's very impressive. Like, he's literally been in the UFC forever, and he's still doing shit like this. So, again, especially to someone like Umar Sy, who's actually like a decent competitor. So, congratulations to him. Next fight, Harry Hardwick versus Marwan Rahiki, bro. This fight was fucking crazy. This is what I wrote down. Round one, Rahiki throwing hard kicks to start, and Harry catches a kick and then and then Harry catches a click and then slithers himself into a rear naked choke position with a body triangle on Rahiki's back. But Rahiki's working great defensively, kind of shucks off Harry there. Rahiki overthrows a cross, and Harry throws a crafty inside leg kick, and Rahiki falls. Sorry. Then Rahiki falls. They start slugging, throwing crazy hard, but they are almost both trying to counter each other. Shit is lethal. Bro, I don't even got to explain to you how hard they're slugging back and forth with each other. Like, Rahiki's definitely landing the better shots, but Harry's still landing too. And then Rahiki lands a clean inside elbow. That's basically it for round one. 10-9 Rahiki. Round two, Hardwick throwing good snappy head kicks and then throws a cross and stumbles Rahiki a bit. Rahiki lands a clean head kick as well, and then a right hook that stumbles Hardwick. Rahiki starts slugging Hardwick up against the cage and landing mostly everything, mixing up body and head shots. Then Hardwick teeps him against the fence. Hardwick's jaw falls off his face, slams, hits the ground, just bah. But Hardwick lands a good spinning back kick to the body and then a knee up the middle. They chill for the remainder basically, and then the fight is ended between round 2 and round 3 because Hardwick's jaw is broken and his jaw is actually like hanging off of his face. So that shit is fucking just, metal, brutal, whatever you want to say. That shit was fucking nasty. But yeah, round 2 doctor stoppage at 5 minutes or whatever. Wow. Fight of the night. They deserve it, bro. 100K for that new jaw. Give them a new iron jaw, bro. And let's talk about the fact that he didn't even get knocked down or knocked out. His jaw literally broke before he got dropped. So Harry Hardwick's chin is fucking crazy. Just like a fucking insane performance. Like that, along with the Stephen Aspinall fight, is definitely one to watch back if you want to watch just like a genuinely entertaining fight. Like, just wow. Next one, we got Jose Delgado versus Andre Fili. This one was pretty close. But let me tell you what I wrote down. Both starting off pretty tit for tat, but both kind of explosive. Jose landing good body kicks and leg kicks. Gets caught up with a right hook as he was backing up against the fence by Fili, and then basically drops Jose. A couple seconds later, Jose tries to shoot, but Fili sprawls and stuffs it. The jab keeps landing for Fili, and Fili gets a takedown in the last 20 seconds. Fili 10-9. Just literally vets himself into a first round, winning that first round basically. Round 2. Jose starting off by mixing the leg kicks. Doesn't matter which stance for either guy. They're both like switching stances, working like that. It's pretty cool, honestly. They were both, like I said, they're both switching stances the whole fight. Jose Delgado starts mixing in knees now. Fili lands a great cross in southpaw on Jose. Delgado starting to mix up the kicks a lot now. Landed a good spinning back kick, body kicks, and close head kicks. Crazy blitz from Delgado. He's digging those knees in from the clinch. And good elbows, too, up against the cage. Fili lands a good head kick. Delgado got a single leg takedown. Feely gets up. Jose lands a good teep to the body. You see Feely drop his hands like it hurt a little bit, and then Feely gets a double takedown, double leg takedown at the end of the round again. A smooth vet takedown at the end of the round for Feely. But I think you give it Delgado 10-9 in the second just based off quantity, but the quality of that quantity. So it's 19-19 going into the third. And speaking of the third round, we're going tit for tat for majority of the third. The kicks are landing better for Delgado, and the boxing is landing better for Feely. They're both struggling to land something good on each other, but that just kind of speaks for the defense for both of them. Then Delgado lands a clean head kick. Delgado lands a good right hand and stumbles Feely just a little bit, and then clinches and knees him in the face and pops the elbow and another one up against the fence. The teeps and the leg kicks are landing good for Delgado. Then Feely gets a takedown again towards the end of the round. And then another one. But Delgado's quality of his quantity, again, for the third round, just basically makes it clear, in my opinion. 10-9 Delgado, 29-28, unanimous decision, as it was. And the fight was really good. I was a little nervous for Jose after the end of the first round, bro, because obviously, you know what I'm saying, Jose Delgado is one of my favorite featherweights, like, for real, for real. Like, just the way this clinch work, bro, the way he mixes in those knees, and now you can see the elbows, the kicks too, bro, just all that shit. And his hands are clean, his defense, everything's good about Jose, bro. That's what makes me fuck with him. But the first round really did have me kind of scared. But, you know, you're a little slow starter for that fight. You did what you needed to do. So, congratulations to the GOAT, Jose. And then we got 2 fights left. I think, yes. Jillian Robertson versus Amanda Lemos. Great fight here. Round 1. Starting off, Amanda is throwing good body teeps and leg kicks, and then Gillian gets a single leg takedown and slowly brings her to the canvas. Amanda reverses and kind of scrambles out a little bit and starts working ground and pound, or basically like elbows on the back of Gillian's head. And that's really it for the first round. They're basically just like the back of the head elbows. And then the second round spends a good amount of time in north-south position while Gillian was on top. They're moving around on the ground, but Gillian is on top of it all still. Gillian just smudges until the last couple seconds, and Amanda gets up and starts throwing. Gillian 10-9. Round 3, Jillian just pressuring Amanda, throws punches at her, and then gets a double leg, and Amanda gets right back up. Jillian gets a takedown and then ends up in a sort of close arm bar, but then she escalated, or not escalated. She scrambled and got into the top position. She gets control time, and then the 4 seconds left or whatever, Gillian gets some ground and pound. 10-9 Jillian. Bro, I wrote that down like a fucking idiot, bro. I can't even read what I'm fucking writing down. But basically, Jillian just like smudges the last 2 rounds and then wins a decision over Amanda Lemos. Is pretty good. Amanda Lemos definitely got the first round, but that's really it. Then we're gonna just finish off real quick. Emmett Vallejos versus Josh Emmett. What do we really got to say about the main event? I put Vallejos by Grape, or Vallejos by Grape, or whatever. He has such a fluid combos. Obviously, everyone's giving him the Ilya comparison. But the combos were fluid when Emmett was up against the cage. But also his composure and reaction time are so fast and precise. Nice knockdown. And then from a tight right hook or whatever, drops him. Good busy work to follow. Dom Cruz said it perfect. It's the accuracy, not the power. First round KO, Kevin Vallejos. Should Josh Emmett retire? I think so. I don't like. What are you going to do now? It's over. It's over. But overall, bro, this is a pretty good Apex card, bro. I'm not even going to lie. And before I did the predictions, obviously, I know everyone that was fighting because I, predicted all their fights. But I didn't even take into account that most of my favorite, fighters are, were fighting on this card, bro. Like, Jillian Robertson. You got Jose Delgado. Who else you got on this bitch? Kevin Vallejos, bro. Who else am I forgetting about on here? I guess not. Oh yeah, Charles Johnson, obviously. Come on, what the fuck? Oral by, bro. I fuck with Elijah Smith too, and then the rest were all right, whatever. But so many of my favorite fighters were actually fighting on this chill Apex card, and it just looking at the card, or whatever, before it played out, it looked like it was gonna play out pretty good. It wasn't really underwhelming. It was actually pretty good for an Apex card, but yeah, my final thoughts. The shit was pretty solid. The little slow in the beginning, but then it picked up at the end for sure. And just how close some of these guys were, like the Jose Delgado and the Andre Feely fight. That shit was had me a little nervous for Jose, but that's good though because he got to squeak out a little win over a vet like Andre Feely. And how do you not fuck with Andre Feely, bro? Come on. But yeah, that's basically all I gotta say about that. It's a great card. I'm gonna drop these predictions for the UK card as well, probably today, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows? But I did pretty good on predictions too. I think I only got like 2 wrong, if I'm not mistaken. I think I went like 10-2 or something like that. I don't know. But you guys have a good day. Appreciate y'all for watching. Tune in for the next one. Thank you.